think we can start with Bob's here. We recording? Okay, let me know.
Where's Dawn? Dawn here?
He's not here.
Not here.
Personal situation arise.
Okay.
She heard there might not be cookies. And so
Didn't have cookies.
she didn't know Phyllis came through.
There are
with
cookies.
Phyllis came through.
You
No, from the cookie.
reappropriated them.
Phyllis doesn't ever not come through.
Yes.
Who
Good.
stole the cookie?
From the cookie jar.
All right,
Mike-
I'll call the meeting of the Sanborn Regional School Board order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Ready? I. Nation under God, and indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
No, I love it. Every meeting.
Yeah.
That made my night.
Good evening, members of the school board. I'm excited to introduce Amy McDougall, one of our wonderful first grade teachers, along with a few of our first grade students who are here to share some good news from Bakey. Good news about their learning. They've just completed the CKLA knowledge unit on the human body, which builds on their kindergarten study of the 5 senses. Through this unit, they explored how our body systems work together and wrapped it up with a fun and meaningful culminating activity. We're proud of their curiosity and hard work and thrilled for you to hear from them tonight. Please welcome Dr. Mack and her students.
Hi, everybody. We're here. I brought my medical team with me tonight. And first graders were introduced to a network of body systems comprised of organs that work together to perform vital jobs. I'm gonna let them get their posters. Okay. Come on over here, Bryson. Good. Okay, great. So the 5 body systems that we studied were skeletal, muscular, digestive, circulatory, and the nervous system. We learned how to care for our bodies to stay healthy. Team 1 would like to thank families and friends in the medical field for donating supplies to enrich our learning. Have a couple more fun facts we want to share. Bryson, how many bones are in our body?
206.
Good job. Kylie, which muscle never stops and works all day and night? That's right, the heart. How many muscles are in our body, Joseph? Really loud. Say it again. Nice job. Andrea, what is the control center for our body? Nice job. Bradley, which is the strongest muscle in our body? Really loud. Mackenzie, what is the bone that protects our brain? Braddock, can you name a healthy food for us? Logan, after you eat, how long does food stay in your body? 2 to 3 days. Isn't that surprising? Ben, can you tell me one way we can keep our body healthy? That's right, brushing your teeth. Did I get everybody? Did I get Logan? Yep, I got everybody. Thank you, first graders. Thank you for letting us show our work.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, doctors.
Thanks, everybody.
Very.
You.
Thank you, parents.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Beth. Thank you.
That was the cutest thing.
Adorable.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, thank you. That part.
All right, could we get an action on the minutes from October 1st, 2025?
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous? And then next up is the Sportsmanship Award from the NHIAA. Ryan.
So last year, our teams were awarded the Sportsmanship Award through the NHIA, and the way the process of which this is accumulated is by each athletic director votes which school represents sportsmanship the best, and Sanborn was voted the best.
So is that second year in a row?
Correct me if I'm wrong.
That is the second year in a row, yes.
Wow.
Awesome.
That's incredible.
Excellent.
And that's 3 in the last 6 years.
And it's a testament to our coaches, Dr. Dawson, and our kids as well.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
That's a really cool award.
Great.
Yeah.
And we get the banner yet?
we don't have the felt banner, but we
Yeah.
have a plastic banner.
The felt ones came in and didn't look right, so the NHI is replacing.
To give us a 20.
Hoping to have it by tonight.
Pretty much.
Ryan, you're allowed to take some credit too, just so you know.
I know it's weird talking about something that I wasn't really a part of, but it's great coming into a community that
Yeah.
does value that and it's respected.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
Bar's been set high.
And
Wow.
Ryan, I
now
apologize.
now we don't win. It's like this guy.
Yeah.
I called you up by name and for some of the community members who may not know who you are, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, so Ryan Browner, the athletic director here at Sanborn. My wife and I have been living in Plastow for the past 5 years. Prior to that, I went to the University of Southern Maine where I played baseball. And then the past 8 years, I worked at a district in Massachusetts as their athletic director.
Well, we appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
Thank you. We appreciate you.
No, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And he is coming back, so we didn't show up.
Okay.
Coming back later.
Yeah.
But wait, there's more.
There's
All right. So the manifests are coming around for signature. Nominations. Dr.
we have
Dawson?
one nomination tonight, high school English teacher Allison Musatano.
Make it
Do
get a motion
we are, a motion to approve?
Second.
and discussion. All in favor? Unanimous.
Welcome.
And there are no resignations for it.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Superintendent's report.
Superintendent's report. Couple of quick things. Got asked Mrs. Cartier, the principal at the middle high school, for an update on the mobile phones and how things are going with our new policy JICJ, which was driven by a state law change to ban mobile electronic devices of really any kind during the school day, from the first bell to send kids to class to the final bell at the end of the day. And she told me, and I quote, "We have had about 50 cell phone earbud violations at the high school and less than 5 at the middle school to date. Teachers report increased levels of engagement in class lessons and activities and a decrease in distracted learners. In place of cell phones, we are seeing students be more social with one another in the cafeterias and hallways, engaging in conversations with one another and interacting with staff as well. At the middle school level, board games and card games such as Uno and Skip-Bo have made their way into the cafeteria, and students are enjoying some friendly competition during lunchtime." So overall, this change has been, from what I understand, a very, very positive one for our community. And I can tell you the number of write-ups that we've had are decreasing. So I maybe see one a day now, because I get all the write-ups from all the schools and I'm seeing maybe one a day. So, and I did not get one today, and I don't believe you had one yesterday.
It's great.
So that's,
Good
that's
news.
been a really good sign. The last thing, there's been a bunch of questions that I fielded about the impact of the federal shutdown right now, and some changes also at the Department of Education that are happening in DC. We're not seeing really any impact as far as Maria will throw a fork at me if I get this wrong, or the reductions in staff that we're seeing at the U.S. Department of Education. We're going to continue to monitor the situation. I get weekly updates from the school board, from the Superintendent's Association, and the state DOE has also reached out about this. Federal funds were sent to the states earlier this year. My understanding is that was in full, and they are sent to us periodically over the course of the year as we complete paperwork and give them various information. So we're not seeing an impact. But those federal funds would, if they were cut off at some point, which they won't be, impact things like special ed, professional development, reading assistance for our youngest kids and so forth, and school lunch reimbursements. So right now, we don't see any impact of that at this time. So if people have questions about that, we're in good shape. So it's been a pretty uneventful couple of weeks, which is great for us. And we are spending nose to the grindstone getting ready for the budget presentation on November 5th. We'll get there one way or the other.
Okay, thank you.
Great. You bet.
Thank you.
Is Summer not here? I mean,
But yes, Summer is not here tonight.
okay. All right, just wanted to make sure. All right, so we won't have a student council for this evening. Any committee reports? Jeremiah?
The Facilities and Finance Subcommittee met this evening and went over a plethora of items. One of note to the larger body here for a vote for the board. We went over, if you remember last week, I preemptively gave everyone a shot across the bow that the roof over the gymnasium had some major leaks. Mr. Doyle was doing yeoman's work in getting us quotes for that portion of the roof. Initially, we thought it would be in the neighborhood of 250,000, but he didn't have the quotes in yet. He was able to get 3 quotes for us. Amazing work. One of them actually came in today, and the Facilities and Finance Subcommittee took a vote out of the 3 of them. One of the quotes came in. Let me preempt that. They all had the same service. They had the same warranty on the roof and the same warranty on workmanship. It was an apples to apples comparison. Nothing provided different. And one of the quotes came in at 25,000 less than the other 3 quotes. And so after reviewing what we had in front of us, the Facilities and Finance, we voted unanimously and then wanted to bring it to the larger board for Olson, the Olson Company, to execute this portion of the roof repair. Actually, it's going to be a top over the top, the current roof that's there. And the cost is $132,800. So we were prepared for something in the 250,000 neighborhood, and it came at $132,800. And so we would like to ask for the board's permission to vote on this and answer any questions, and then allow Dan to move on that repair, as the winds today and recently have done quite the billowing job.
Yeah.
And they were up there with cinder blocks today trying to hold the roof down. So I will make a motion, and then we can somebody can second, and then we can move to any questions or discussion that you all have, as the 3 of us have reviewed it pretty extensively. So I'd like to make a motion for the Sanborn Regional School District to move into a contract with the Olson Company for the repair of the roof for the complete cost of $132,800.
Second.
Sorry. Discussion.
I have a question.
Dan, could you come up?
Absolutely.
All right.
And maybe can you show her do you want to see this as well?
I just have a simple question.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I'm just curious, the one that can $25,000 less, do we vet them or know that they have a good reputation?
So
That's really just my question, because
I can-
sometimes the lowest is the lowest for a reason, but
Dan
if
can
you guys
answer.
have already done that.
Yeah,
then
so
we-
also,
Yeah, all three
three
companies-
companies were very reputable.
Yeah, fantastic
Yeah,
companies.
so
The
good.
company that we're choosing happened to be the largest of the 3 companies, and they do a lot of government work on the Smithsonian's and stuff in Washington, DC, and a lot of government buildings. So they're very capable of handling it. I know they're anxious to get the job, and that's why they came in lower than the other 2. So
I'm good.
And Dan, could just, because we called it repair, right? Could you just explain just for the public what actually is going to be done to the roof? Because it's replacing the entire roof, right? It's fastening it down for higher wind, ratifies like.
right. So the existing roof will stay in place because of the cost factor. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a new roof on top of the old roof. It doesn't affect the warranties or the life of the new roof going up there. The existing roof is a rubber-based roof. The new one going up there will be a vinyl-based roof. It has a 30-year warranty, one of the best in the industry. It's 080 thickness, the mill on it, so it's one of the thickest roofs you can get. They'll be putting a half-inch plywood surface down on top of the old roof and then the new rubber or the new vinyl on top of that. So it's made to walk on, and in the future, if we were to put solar or other items on the roof, it will be able to handle all that. It's one of the best roofing compounds out there now. They use it a lot on restaurants because it's oil and grease resistant. The seams are not glued; they're welded together with a chemical heat bond. So when it's all done, it's basically one huge membrane on the roof. So it's the way the industry is going now, because it used to be very expensive decades ago, but the prices come down and oil prices have gone up. So rubber has gone up in price. So the prices are very comparable to rubber. So the vinyl is the way to go now. So that's kind of where we're at with it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Any other questions or discussion?
You said they're all comparable, so they're all comparable, the quotes, so there's no
Yeah,
differentiation.
same material too, all the.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, same exact product too, the same manufacturer and everything.
I'm good.
And the funds are coming from,
Reed, you want to share that piece?
We're going to take it from excess health insurance that we have right now.
okay. Thought so, just, somebody's going to ask.
Yep. Perfect. Thank you.
All in favor? Okay, unanimous. Thank you. Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, Dan. And that's all I have.
Yes.
All right, thanks. Any other committee reports?
No.
Okay. All right, we'll move to first public comment.
How long are you gonna wait?
I'll be 15.
Okay.
Just to say I did it. All right, we'll move on. New business, 9-1 girls volleyball. Request to add varsity program for 6-7. Ryan, you're back up.
So over the past 3 years, you guys all have the handout that I provided. So the past 3 years, our numbers have gone from 27 to 29 to now 36 volleyball members of a part of our club volleyball team. So the numbers are there to support a varsity program. 70% of the districts in New Hampshire already offer volleyball as a varsity sport. It's something that we already schedule roughly 8 games or so. So financially, it's not as big of a burden as if we're starting from zero. So I'm just asking for them to become a varsity sport.
I have a question. So I know we're in the budget process. Will that, if we get through this, is that going to be put into your budget, or have you already passed your budget in to the
So
superintendent?
as long as the athletic programs are still fully maintained or funded the
Yep.
way they currently are, then we'll be able to
Okay,
maintain the sport.
nothing additional. Okay.
Nothing additional.
I have a couple questions, Ryan. So I believe this is the second year we've had a volleyball team. So they start as like intramural, then they go to club, then they go to is this the second year they've had them?
So I think this might be the fifth.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think this might be the 5th year. But you can go. We essentially could have just started right away
Gotcha.
with a varsity program. We'd have to apply with the NHIA.
Sure.
However, that's not financially
Yep.
the smartest route. So we wanted to make sure we can maintain sufficient numbers and make sure the kids are actually interested in the sport, rather than it being a 1 year like, oh, let's try this, and then everybody backs out. But we've seen sustained growth over the past 3 years.
Right.
And even middle school kids are interested in it.
And how are they? What's their record this year? How are they doing?
So they haven't lost.
Yeah.
So they're solid. They're fine. They're playing JV teams.
Yeah.
But still,
Yeah.
for only being four years in, it's pretty solid.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Good.
Yeah. Thank you.
And this would come with a volleyball matches or play with a JV component.
Mhm.
One of the nice things about volleyball, you don't get rainouts.
Right.
It's,
Oh.
you can have a full-on varsity and a JV program with as few as like 14 kids.
Mm.
So it's a really solid, we have received in the last couple of years a donation of 4 dozen practice and game volleyballs from the NHIA. I stuffed my car with them one day, leaving it up there. We've been able to procure uniforms for the team. We have a competition quality net, including antenna. So we basically have all the equipment we need. We just need like one ladder for the referees to stand on, and we're completely kitted out to play the game. So
They
we're
all
really
have-
well set up. The coach's salary will fit within unused coach's salary within the
Okay. that's
CBA. And so it should be a relatively easy transition for the team to get started.
Awesome.
And they're super excited. I haven't seen them in a year, but I know they're
Yeah.
They are. The
Coaches watching right now.
coaches are excited. Kids are excited, at least for
Yeah.
the potential of the opportunity.
yeah,
So this would roll out in next fall.
correct. But it's a new classification cycle for the NHIA, brand new schedule build, which is why we kind
So
of
they would be the way volleyball is only 3 divisions in volleyball. We would fall into the Division 2. However, we can
See
protest down.
what's what.
Are we
I like division.
officially this year, next year going to be for Division 3 for the rest of sports? Or where do we stand at that?
So next year, all sports will be Division 3. However, if we have volleyball would be
Two.
moved into 2, but we have the opportunity to petition down
Yeah.
to Division 3. But we would be in the middle of the pack in Division 2. So it depends.
Okay.
yeah, so just to be a little clear, Ryan's getting more used to the New Hampshire way of doing things, which can be a little odd. They classify sports based on basically your soccer teams, your basketball teams, and baseball, softball, the sort of 6 that everybody has.
Mm-hmm.
And we, as we anticipated, moved down to Division 3. We're the 5th largest or 6th largest in Division 3, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because we were in Division 2 last time around. There are sports where we will be in different divisions. For instance, volleyball would slide in as a 2. Like our golf team is, I think, Division 3. Cross country is bounced back between 2 and 3. So it depends on how many teams are in each particular sport as to how the classification and where we end up. But teams like field hockey for sure will be a 3. Soccer will be a 3. Football, I'm sure, will stay as a 3. So we're like our entire fall will be 3. Cheer should end up in that same spot. So for the most part, we'll be a Division 3 school. But in some smaller sports, there's only, say, 3 divisions like volleyball, we may end up in 2. And
Yeah.
so it can get a little weird like that.
Okay.
But it's really good news for our athletes and our competitiveness across the board. And that will start next year, not
Great.
for this one.
Awesome.
Need a vote for that?
Yeah, Ryan, I'd just like to say thanks because your write-up that you gave on this was clear, concise, where the funds were coming from, optional funds, like it was well thought out and it really helps our decision process. So
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Try to answer questions that
Yeah, no.
what I would ask.
Yeah,
So-
no, it's good. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So I think we need a motion.
Yeah, just one last thing to add to that. So I really appreciate, Ryan, the minute that you came to the district, you've been collaborative, you're communicative with parents, and really appreciate what you're doing. It's a big thing to walk into. We're a weird district. We're small size-wise, but we have a lot of offerings. So it's kind of this weird anomaly. And you've just been fantastic walking in. So I publicly want to say thank you for everything you're doing and how you're caring for our athletic program.
Well, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
I guess
Need a motion.
I will make a motion to approve Mr. Browner's presentation, or what's the word? Request to create a varsity level volleyball team for the following year.
Second.
Any discussion?
Girls volleyball, to be clear.
I think I don't think they have,
There is boys in New Hampshire, yes.
we have boys in New Hampshire?
Yep.
So this is a girls volleyball.
Girls.
I'll amend my motion to denote that it is a girls volleyball varsity team.
And I will second that amendment.
All in favor? Unanimous.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
And since you're up there.
Awesome. Let's go to the next one.
It's like we set it up that way.
Yeah.
So Pixelette cameras. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this. They're essentially cameras that will be posted in our gymnasium and on our football field. And with discussions with the football boosters and basketball boosters, they're looking to donate the cost that would be associated with these cameras, which would be $1,500 for 2 cameras, all maintenance, all install. So it's $1,500 from them, everything included. These cameras essentially are AI generated. So you just plug it into a computer. I want a game to start at 6 o'clock. Cameras pop on, and the cameras just tracks the ball, tracks the movement. It's kind of cool to watch on the user's end. It's a great opportunity for people that grandparents that can't make it to a game, family members that live not in the state that can't make it. They can stream it live. There is a subscription. The subscription is $13.99 a month or $79 for the year. And there is revenue sharing, which the school would get 10% of whatever subscriptions are sold. Many districts do have this already. I know Timberlane's the closest. I think there's like 8 local districts that already offer NFHS. And with the subscription, you're also able to watch any games, not only in the state of New Hampshire, but you can watch any game that in the country that has it. So it's a cool little perk. If you want to watch football in Georgia D1 or Class 5A in Texas, you can watch that. If you want to. It's a great tool for our coaches. They can use it for practices. So if they just want, hey, I want to watch an hour of their practice, they can video it. And there's not an extra person needed to do that. We won't need kids filming with iPads or whatever to get games done. So it's a cool thing. The cost is great. The installs, I had it on I got it last year at my prior district, and it was very smooth.
Can you just cover the privacy considerations that you have on your memo too, if you don't mind?
Yeah, so they are under the Family Educational Rights Private, so FERPA. It's not like anybody can access these cameras and they're not on, so they're not constantly running, so I'm not turning them on to watch a gym class or whatever. So they are covered under that, and they're also covered under the COPA, which is the Children's Online Privacy Act. So they are covered under that. So data is not shared, and it's all maintained in-house.
Okay.
We have go ahead.
So Ryan, I noticed, and I hadn't caught this before, but so there's 2 cameras. One is mounted inside the gym, which will capture full court coverage for basketball, volleyball, or any event in the gym. Then on the press box on the football field, positioned for wide field views of football and track events. So this looks like field hockey and soccer would not be able to reap any of the benefits of that program from viewership or from a coaching perspective. Is there any way to...
So one of the things moving forward, that field, I think it's one of the best fields in the state, the football field.
Yeah.
Only gets utilized this year will probably be 5-6 times maybe.
Right.
So there may be an opportunity next year to maybe get one of those games, field hockey, soccer's, over to that field, depending on what the schedule looks like.
Sure.
But yes, those teams will not be able to utilize it, and that's why the money is coming from football will be primarily using it, and basketballs will be primarily using it.
Okay.
So that's kind of where the funds are coming from.
Okay.
From their boosters.
I gotcha. Okay. All right. Thank you.
That's a longer, I do want to get something for the soccers and field hockeys because it's just equitable.
Sure. And it's helpful from a coaching and a player perspective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For them to be able, even if it's one game, like you said, for them to be able to take that footage and, utilize it as part of their next practice and things they need to work on. And yeah.
No, 100%. I agree with you.
Awesome. Thank you.
I know we have, when students sign up for sports, there's a media release and all that stuff that's signed. And I know that generally speaking, if I go to a game at a high school as a parent or a family member or whatever, I don't have an expectation of privacy necessarily, right? It's public, but this starts to get close to a line for me about, do people post signage outside of the gym that say, hey, this is happening? So
live stream, we could certainly put signage
what I mean?
saying games will be live streamed via NFHS network. And that's something promotionally wise that I'd want to.
Serves 2 purposes, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I just think about generally when you have large crowds that might appear in live streamed and or recorded stuff, you would put by entering the gym, you agree to appear in whatever.
Yeah. And I think we have cameras,
right?
There's multiple cameras throughout the school. I think we do have postage saying the cameras are on.
So one of those signs is on the gym door.
Okay, good. So, okay.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
think that's New Hampshire state law. The assumption to privacy in public area, the assumption is there is no privacy in a public area.
Generally not, right? But if we're going to use the thing, because we may end up using whatever footage in there, we could use it for promotional purposes, which wouldn't cover the general no privacy law,
Right.
right? You need an additional media release from people that are captured in the crowd who are identifiable.
Sure.
So,
Yep.
but
that's a good point.
that sign takes care of it.
Yep.
You can mute audio.
Audio is a whole different story as far as.
Yeah.
So audio can be muted.
Yeah, we could even put on a sign including audio. I mean, it helps. It would help a little.
Yeah, no, 100%. And there's a way to black out the game. So most coaches, after the game's been recorded, they don't necessarily want their opponents to see game footage of them.
Hmm.
So you can wipe it off.
Nice.
I can keep it internally if they want to see it.
Right.
It's like on demand, they call it.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
Need a motion. I think we need a motion because it's really a donation, correct? Yeah, I think we need a motion to accept the donation.
I guess, yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept the cameras as presented to us.
Second,
With him.
I got it.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Unanimous.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ryan.
Awesome. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Nice to see
appreciate you.
Anything else? Drew?
While you're there as well.
Thank you.
Good night, Ryan. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's the bed.
We might need to move those cinder blocks on the roof. All right, next up, Gordon, line wise.
Good evening.
Hi, Gordon.
Hello.
How are you?
Great.
So I wanted to give a update and then hopefully approval for the filtering system through LineWise. So we went live on September 12th for the filtering. From the 12th to today. So I'm just going to provide some numbers for you. We've had 872 unique students blocked at least once across the high school, middle school, memorial, for a total of 154,208 sites in 1 month.
So on average,
From September 12th to September 26th, so about a 2-week window, 63% of that blocked traffic, video games. September 30th to October 14th, that number dropped to 28%. So over the course, they learned that they're not coming back and they stopped trying. Our highest count for one student is 1,900 sites blocked.
Wow.
We have 35 students, 500 plus blocked, 116 students, 300 plus blocked, and 435 students, 100 plus blocked. And then one thing that we've implemented over the last couple weeks is kind of a quarantine type setup. So it's literally everything blocked but educational type stuff. And we currently have 3 students in that quarantine. A couple features that I've been playing with and have learned about with this. We get a trending apps and sites feature. So if something's not classified yet by LineWise as like a video game, it just kind of shows up as like other content and whatnot. I can see how much activity is done on this website, and then I can investigate, see, oh, it's a gaming site, and I can go in and just manually block it, and they lose their access. So typically it seems to be every like 2-3 days something new pops up. Kid finds a site, tells their friend, they all tell their friends, and eventually 25-40 kids are on this site and kind of throws a flag, and I'm able to catch it. I'm also able to see a lot of data usage. So one thing that Dr. Dawson and I have been seeing is Huddle, which is the football, right?
The kids we're seeing are football, yeah.
So it's for football, and I guess they can edit clips and do all this. We've been getting hammered with the amount of data. Like it's been the highest thing for this month from just downloading, uploading video, editing, all this stuff. So we're able to even see stuff like that, even though it's an allowed site, we're able to see that and investigate. In the past week, after certain students have been spoken to, that's come way down on the list. Category searching is pretty cool too. So in terms of like, say, streaming video, I can search for just streaming video and see all the different sites that are pulling that category and kind of investigate if they're actually educational or if they're just something to waste time. And if I find that they're a waste time type application, I'll just add it to the list, and now it's no longer accessible. A big part of what I've been doing through this trial is reporting any students who might have spent the whole day Googling, searching, just trying to find a way to get around this, kind of obvious. We have days where 300-400 hits a day, kids getting blocked, just doesn't want to do any work. So little email goes out to the school administration, and the goal eventually is to have them have access to be able to pull all that. So I'm not the one sending all this stuff out. Same with inappropriate activity. Any Google searches, are flagged for, anything from depression, suicide, violence, pornography. So we've been catching a lot of stuff like that as well. And anything that's been, questionable, I've sent off to the admin and they've dealt with it. The real nice thing with a lot of that too is I can see what they call a journey. So if a student Googles something about a bomb, I can actually see the journey of how they got there, and they're doing something for school, so that's fine. And then lastly, I've gotten quite a few thank yous from staff because they've noticed kids being more engaged in class, and not playing games because they know they can't get to it. So
It's great.
So what I'm looking for is to go beyond the trial for just the filtering for now, with the 3-year contract.
Just the filtering.
Can we get an update? Thank you for that, Gordon.
Okay.
Can we get the update from the teacher group that was trialing, or
That hasn't started yet. So
hasn't started yet? Okay.
we have a list. Alma is not an SIS that they have an integration with. We are currently working between Alma and LineWise to get that integration. They do have a kind of third-party group that can do it at no charge. But with the trial, where it's 8, 10, I think it's 10.
I think we can do 10. I've got about 10 or 11.
Yeah. We're just going to kind of manually import them and build it out because it's going to take a little longer for that integration. So depending on how long that takes, and if we want to go through the whole third party, then switch over, we'll determine, going full scale if approved.
So I may have misunderstood you. So LineWise blocks Alma?
No.
The data going into the class-wise is pulled from the SIS. So that's how, teacher starts their class, has 20 kids in their class, and they can see those 20 kids' Chromebooks.
Yep.
That data is pulled from Alma.
Got it.
So they don't have an integration
Okay.
to pull that data yet. So there's a third party in place that can do all that. So the data would go to the third party, and then the third party would send it to LineWise. We're working with them to just eliminate that third party.
Okay.
So with the trial, it's just it's more of a manual, data entry type thing. So it'll just take a little bit to get it going.
Okay.
And I just have a question
Sure.
because it's probably me. I thought the trial was including the teachers.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
There's 3 products. So I'm trialing the filter. Once we have the the trial teachers in place, then that'll be trialing the class wise.
Okay.
So what I'm doing now is I'm like with this quote, this is just the filter.
Okay.
Once we do the class wise, and if we want to move forward with it, then I'll come to you with just the class wise quote,
Okay.
What was the third one?
the monitoring.
That's like the intelligent
Yeah.
listening.
Correct.
or-
Which now that I'm seeing the filtration side, I can kind of see how that ties in because they all do kind of, they all tie into each other.
Mhm.
So in terms of, if something pops up a red flag, they call it of suicide, and it actually looks legit, like I can see that on the web side of things.
Mhm.
But this will actually kind of take that additional action to reach out to somebody compared to me coming here and just seeing it,
So the line wise that we are talking about right now, the teachers don't have to do anything with this. This is in the back end for you and the
Correct.
tech team.
Correct.
Got it. Okay.
And in combination with the class wise is I have categories of stuff that are blocked. If a teacher wants a student, or the class to access a website that's blocked, they can open it up for that class. And then when it ends, it reblocks for those students.
Got it.
So it kind of works. That's how it works with the filtration, is that the teachers then kind of have access to open that up without reaching out to me saying, hey, I need this open for the day,
So the filtering was the filtering was not the one that part we were concerned with being more work for the teacher.
Correct.
So what you're asking for us is to prove the filtering, which teachers haven't trial runned it, but we're not worried that it's going to cause the teachers any more work. So you're asking us to do the 3-year contract for that. And then we're going to trial the
Class wise.
Class wise.
class wise.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only,
And then and that's where we're going to get the 8 teachers opinion.
correct.
Okay. Yep.
And the only little hiccups that we have, which, was going to happen because of the new system is, you might tighten it down a little too much. And, like I had one today about a music website that, a class uses where they, create tones and all this. And it kind of got caught up in how things were locked down. So I go in, I allow the site, and now it's. But if I decided not to do that, then with the class wise, the teacher could actually just open it up for the class to use that day.
Got it.
Or that period, and then it gets blocked again.
Okay.
32,280. This is the
Looks like 3 payments. So 1 per year.
Yep, $10,760.
So 10
Per
and 7
year.
per year. Yep.
And this is in the budget for this year as well.
So
So
I'd like to make a motion.
Can we hold on?
I would just hold. Yeah.
Yep. I'm going to say the same thing. I think you.
I think so. Good.
Yeah. So I submitted the contract that you guys have to the attorneys over the last couple days. Actually, just got back to me today on, we swapped a few revisions to the contract, and I want to send you guys a revised version of the contract.
Okay.
So if, I guess you guys could move it pending that read of the contract by me, one of you guys, the whole group, or we can come back in November and do that. It depends on how you want to do it, but there are some minor revisions to the contract that I want to run by.
Yeah.
At least somebody.
are we going to
come back to it?
are we going to experience a gap in service if we wait for a month or 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I wouldn't think so.
We're fine. Okay, then let's
Yeah,
wait.
back 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Let's wait.
Okay.
Wait.
That's fine. I'll get the contract out. I just got it back today. So I'll get
Perfect.
it out to you guys
Yep.
tomorrow.
Okay.
With the revisions kind of laid out so you can see.
Cancellation was one of the biggest ones that I
Yeah.
So did the attorney. So like
Sounds good.
3 years, we don't know. We know what's coming in 3 years. We don't know what programs we're going to be able to
Right.
keep entertaining in 3 years. So
Right.
Yep. Oh, good point.
And I would assume too, assumption, but this is for 1,200. It's licensed by student count. If we happen to drop to 1,100, I wouldn't see why they wouldn't adjust that number, the payment dropping the students, because most year to year things we do, like pick a patrol, is every year it's a new student count. And they send a quote based off the student count. It's assumption, but I would assume that, with a active relationship that they would, want to
Maintain.
make that change.
Yeah. That's a great point. It's an assumption, right? So I think from what I saw from the couple revisions, I think they're more in line with what we're looking for. So
Okay.
I think everybody just needs to review it. That's all.
Awesome. Thank you, Gordon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gordon.
You're welcome.
Um,
I don't see why not.
I mean,
I don't know.
you're probably not allowed to, but I'm
But-
gonna go ahead.
If you do it, I mean,
I mean,
genie-
probably a
the genie's out of the bottle if you do it. Oh,
So there's 3 different versions that are all rolled into this program, correct?
Correct.
And we're only asking for a contract for one of them and then trialing another one. If we ask for a contract for the next one, will we get some sort of discounted rate? Or is it just a flat rate for individual contract?
I think it's a flat rate. So based off of the quote that I've had with all of them on it, this product is the same price as it showed on that quote. So I think the only difference would be I would want to prorate. So say we went class wise December 1st. If we started this November 1st, to prorate that first year, 11 months, so that they kind of fall in the same alignment for.
Yeah. The numbers that I've seen align with the original presentation that Gordon had for us. I think you've probably been here for most of the meetings too. So I think you recall that we asked to break this up in the chunks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the numbers still align with that original quote. Yeah, they do. But that's a good question though.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, Gordon.
Bob, you gonna have some sort of a procedure, call them SOPs, on how the data is gonna be handled? It sounds like it's a job to monitor this, right? For one person to do it. Is it going out to the class teachers? Is it going to you? Is it going to, like, who's this data going to, and what actions are gonna take based on it?
That's a question I think we'd have to figure out down the road. I've been in the position of receiving all this data from a previous iteration of a similar kind of program. It's kind of a broad way of saying I used to get, this kid searched for something naughty 37 times as an administrator, and I would review it about once a week. I suspect that's what the point we're going to get to eventually. But I think it would be helpful if somebody on the tech side, or we, had a administrator or somebody in the building look at it kind of on the daily to see those patterns. But I think as the kids
'Cause you
understand that we're looking, they'll slow down.
Because you're gonna want a consistent approach, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
So if it's going to the classroom teachers, there could be different interpretations or different.
Yeah, I think because
Does it go to
the
parents, like if my kid's searching naughty sites every day, do you let me know?
I can tell you how I've done it in the past.
I mean, these
My
are,
first conversation was always with
that's what I'm saying. I
kid.
just think we need some.
I think what
guardrails
maybe,
and procedures.
SOPs.
Yep.
yeah.
I think there's a policy on it.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
we need a policy. If we're gonna have
Yeah.
this, the world is changing a little bit, right? Like,
That's where I was
we
going.
have, speaking of which, like I could be like, do we have an AI policy?
Coming soon.
You asked.
Coming soon, right? That's what I mean, right? So I think we're gonna have to get into the habit of developing guardrails and guidelines
100%.
in the form of policies.
Covered by, I think there may be some student handbook language on it that I would want to look at.
Use of the school equipment.
Appropriate use of school technology, because that's in effect what we're doing is we're looking at their school accounts. What I found was the kids that are really out there looking at the naughty stuff, you have a conversation once, and the second time they're in the office with the same conversation, that's when I call mom and I start reading the searches to mom, and you don't see the kid again. It's
Because I hear some of the numbers that Gordon shared about, 1,200 times. You know what I
Well,
mean?
and I think it's,
Like, come on, there's got to be a.
Yeah, but I also
part of
heard
what-
they were going down.
yeah.
yeah, but
No,
maybe,
and that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Right. But there's got to be a process for that.
No,
right,
no,
but maybe
understood.
part of what Ken's, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but part of what you're talking about isn't so much the student handbook end and how we handle students who do this, but how we ourselves, or as an administration and as an entity, handles the data
Yes.
consistently.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not so much how we deal with the kids who are breaking the rules, but how are we going to manage the data in a way that's consistent and respects whatever guidelines, privacy and or not private, because they're using our stuff as required.
Exactly.
Right. So I think the policy wouldn't necessarily be about, it's not a disciplinary action policy. It's more of a, how do we handle this stuff?
Yep.
There will be a kind for administration, so that obviously if they have an issue with the student, they can go in themselves, view what that student's doing. But I think the biggest idea with this portion compared to, I'm almost, and correct me if I'm wrong, reading it like you're thinking of the monitoring software in a way. So the purpose of this is to kind of be in place, run, keep students, from getting distracted and whatnot, and then using it as a tool to, a student's having an issue in a class, what's going on with them today, and being able to go in and view it and see, what the problem. But right now with the trialing, I'm kind of, I'm digging through it multiple times a day, just kind of getting the feel of it, figuring out how it all works. But I don't know, and maybe the school will use it that way, but I won't be sitting in there all day looking through it, I'm doing now through the trial used to. It's kind of put in place, and do what it needs to do. And if you need to look deeper into something, you have to.
All right, thanks. Thanks, Gordon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so next up is the superintendent search update. Jeremiah, I don't know if you have anything, but I can go for it.
Gordon?
Oh, okay. Most of the community, I've gotten I won't say an overwhelming amount of emails, but a large amount of emails, which is encouraging. A lot of questions about the engagement, the schedule that came out, and just for if you aren't aware, the schedule starts Monday, October 27th, runs through Friday, October 31st. It is posted on the website. There's numerous ways to engage, both virtually, in person, and through an online survey. This isn't the end, right? That's some of the questions that I've been getting. Like, is this the only engagement that the community members will have? This process is to really form, what qualities we are looking for in the next superintendent, right? And then there will be an interview process where community members will also have the opportunity to be engaged. So those are some of the main questions I was getting. The schedule is posted, like I said, onto the website. We have elected officials from both towns currently engaged and committed to in-person meetings. And then I forwarded out the schedules and signups for all school board members to have either virtual or phone 45-minute engagement individually with Zeal as well. So, you have anything to add?
Yeah, five school board members have already signed up for time slots.
Yep.
It just came out, so this is fantastic. It's a great start. Zeal has been very engaging. I keep looking across because Heather normally sits there. Yeah, Zeal has been very engaging with us. They've been pushing information. I never feel like I have to pull it. They're just on it and they're working it. And their collaboration, right? Their collaborative tools and their ability and willingness and desire to engage the community has been, quite frankly, refreshing and second to none. So, yeah, the process has been great.
And they will be on site the 28th and 29th.
Yep.
In-person meetings with students, staff, and then those town hall meetings as well. All right, that's all I have on that. I'll move to policies. Moira and Bob.
I'll let Bob handle this.
Yes.
I think he's got better.
Gonna get to the right page. We have 3 policies today. All the ones that you guys have. The letters can get confusing, so I'll try to be as clear as I can. GBCE is the first one. Training and information relative to child sexual abuse prevention. This is straight copy of the New Hampshire School Board Association sample policy, which basically just requires us to provide training on child sexual abuse prevention for our staff, which we already do. It's a required policy, and I would recommend that we approve this as written.
And I'm sorry if you already said this. This one we're putting up for first read.
This one we have not seen before, so I'll leave what you want to do with
This
it.
one's just first read.
Okay.
My only question with this one, the training and information relative to child sexual abuse prevention. So it says that Such training shall be completed within 30 days of employment and renewed every 2 years. So
Well, I'm sorry, where are you at, Jeremiah? What number?
Last
What
sentence.
page?
Last sentence.
there's only one paragraph.
First paragraph, he's down all the way at the end of the,
Oh,
at the first
BBC.
Okay, yeah,
paragraph.
sorry again.
Yep. So the last sentence.
Mhm.
So my only question with that is, how is it that somebody can be working with kids for 30 days prior to getting that training?
They don't.
Okay.
So we don't, the teachers, when they onboard with us, do go through the vector training, the online training in this regard before they're in front of the kids.
Right.
So that's just standard operating procedure for the,
Right. So that's not reflective of this language, though.
fair enough.
This is the law as written, right? This is how it's
This is the
written.
recommended policy from NHSBA.
Yeah.
So
Just it's a recommendation.
That's kind of wild. That
It's a good call out.
and we do
I
it
think the way we do it is right. That's how this should be written.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We
I
can
don't-
certainly amend it if you'd like.
Yeah.
I would, just replace
Should we make it
in 30 days to prior to.
amend it?
Yeah.
I don't agree. This is a training. They do the full criminal background check before employment.
Correct.
They've already passed.
We should probably make a motion before we go through all this, right?
Sure.
To amend it, just before we have this conversation.
Sure. So I'll make a motion to amend policy GBCE.
Second.
Discussion.
Okay, discussion. All right, go ahead, again.
It's a training. They go through the full criminal background check as a condition of employment. So they've already passed the criminal background check before they're employed. This is a training not like any other training. I don't want to diminish the value of the training. I'm just saying there are a bunch of trainings they have to take after they're hired.
Yep.
To me, it's requirement to take training before they're hired. It's not fair to them, I guess.
I agree with you, Ken. My assumption would not be because you can't require anything of somebody who's not employed,
Yep.
right? However, there's a reason that we have teachers showing up. What is it? 2 weeks before everybody else in the summer, Bob?
About a week.
A week. And there are trainings that I would be completely fine with them waiting, right? There are certain things, reporting criteria, the do's and don'ts, this kind of training, okay, that needs to be in that first week. Like you shouldn't be working with kids because there should be no question as to, oh, well, geez, I've been working with kids for a month now and I was never told that that's required of me, right? As other trainings, I can't think of any off the top of my head, how to return library books. Yep, that can wait. If we make a mistake on returning library books, I'm not concerned. You know what I mean? Something like this, that should probably fit in the first week. That's my assessment anyway.
Should it maybe be amended to say such training shall be completed before teachers are allowed to be with students in the classroom, or
Yeah, something like that.
put it to the effect of
Within 30 days of
in
employment.
front of students
And
Prior to unsupervised student contact.
Yeah, I like that.
think that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And that would replace the words within 30 days of employment.
well, it should. I think you could do both. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Well,
that and within 30
And
days.
within.
Yeah.
My concern with that is that you're requiring people to do training before you're paying them.
No, I mean, it's still within 30 days of employment. And before.
Oh, I see what
There's
you're
two
saying.
conditions.
Yeah.
Yep.
Been
Yep.
hired, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I got you.
Yep. I agree. Yeah. So somebody's like, oh no, I don't have to do that because I'm not.
I'm
not
never
unsupervised.
unsupervised. I've been here 2 years, but I've always
Yeah.
been supervised.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah. It's this and
30
this.
days.
We don't want that.
Perfect.
Well, maybe I can bring you a revised version. Like I said, we're doing this, but I can bring you a revised version for next time.
Yeah,
Cool.
which is fine because we just brought this.
Yeah. Same with just like the next one.
So do we need to vote on that, right?
Yeah. We
We vote even though it's just first. Okay.
I'll make a motion.
We
Oh,
did it.
you already.
We
No,
already
you
did
already
a
did.
I made a motion to
Made a
revise
motion
it.
just for-
It was seconded. We had
All
discussion.
in favor?
Vote. Yeah.
Okay, unanimous. Excellent.
Sometimes I forget where we are.
Thank you guys.
Taking a note here real quick. Okay. GBCD we have seen before. What you guys received was a clean copy with all the old language taken out and all the new language put in.
This is second read.
This would be the second read. Yep. And the change comes on page 6. We've added a section K to remember which section it is. This is
Okay.
it's very long. I think
Page
it's
6.
it's 4K is what I believe it comes out to.
I think it's just K.
Okay.
Or it's just K.
it's K.
It's its own K, which requires in effect staff members to renew their criminal background check every 3 years. Certified personnel, those who have state certifications, would have that. They would have the opportunity to do that between January 1st and April 1st of the year in which they are scheduled for their recertification with the state. That doles out the group in much more of an equal thing. It also becomes part of that recert process from our end, so that makes it a lot easier. The January 1 to April 1 piece is to take it away from hiring season, so the HR department doesn't get swamped and the police department doesn't get swamped and everybody else doesn't get. So it would come before that. For non-certified personnel, custodians, folks like that, they would do that on a schedule established by the superintendent. That would also be every 3 years because that comes up earlier in the process. And that would be done in a way that we dole it out once again in an equal basis. And for new employees, they would be exempt from the renewal requirement in the first year of employment. So you wouldn't be running a check in August of 25, and then you have to do it again in January of 26. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So those things, and the district will reimburse employees upon receipt of the completed report from the New Hampshire State Police. So once they're passed, which assumes that they will be, and we would reimburse them for the right now $47. We anticipate running no more than around 100 employees through the process every year. And upon passage of this, we will include this in the HR portion of the budget.
Silly question. If they don't pass the background check, do they still get reimbursed? Or I don't know if we need to spell it out that we do about what?
And put it in the severance pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I would say, I think if it's a condition of employment, I kind of feel like we have to reimburse them.
Right, either way.
Either way.
So do we
Much
need
as
to,
I'd hate doing that.
Yeah, but
do we need to specify that or is this okay? Like,
would there be employment
That's what I was thinking.
if they
I would
don't
think the
pa-
employment would then be terminated, but I'm no labor lawyer, but
I guess it
the
depends.
condition of employment at the time when they,
These are currently employed. So
When
they are employed
Yeah.
when they
There
write
is
the
no-
check. Yeah.
as an employee. Yeah.
There's no pass or fail though. It's a run, and then it's what comes back. So it's not
Correct.
like pass or fail. Like
Oh.
you failed.
Yeah.
okay, yeah, so matter.
So what came back may be nothing, or it may be something, and then that would be
Yeah, there's still a judgment.
attorneys.
There's still a judgment
Yep.
to be made about.
Yeah.
Stuff.
We've had a couple this year that there's been things.
Yeah.
And basically a lot of times I go to Dan.
Mhm.
And we've talked about, this is a 40-something-year-old who, when they were 21, something happened
Right.
in Somerville.
Yeah.
Not to
Yeah. Okay.
bust Somerville, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Happens.
When you're in college, stuff happens.
Stuff happens in
and,
Somerville.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stuff happens in Somerville. And, we've looked into some of those situations
Yeah.
and come to once this year I rejected an applicant based on that.
Right.
It was a contractor, not somebody we had vetted on our end. And, but other times we've approved people based on that. And it's usually, if it's even questionable, I'll go to Dan and ask him about it.
I would be comfortable to avoid any sort of gray area that we just pay for all of them. Because if we paid for one and found something that caused us to not hire somebody or for us to fire somebody, then it was well worth the $47.
Sure.
And I think the district should pay for that.
I agree.
Yeah. Cool.
Wasn't it that new hires pay for their own? Wasn't that new hires?
New hires pay for their own their first time. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Ken.
Yeah.
And unfortunately in New Hampshire, they have to do it with the DOE if they get their initial certification
Mhm.
and they charge $100
Mhm.
and us, it's the 47 through the fee. So
This is just for the subsequent 3-year
Correct.
periodic renewal as an
Mhm.
employee.
yep.
So are we looking then to do an amendment to this to add in, I don't even know where it says it, applicant will be reimbursed no matter what, or I don't know what a better way to put that on here,
As presented.
as presented. Okay.
No, it's, yeah, I mean, off
The language is in there and
the language is in there.
there's no if
Is it-
Yeah,
I don't think we,
I'm not even seeing-
statement. Yeah.
I'm not even looking at the line, so,
Yeah, there's no wiggle room. It's a statement. The district shall reimburse the employee for the cost.
okay. So that's pretty black and white then.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, if we're gonna pay it.
All right. So
But I
I
don't think
remove
we
my
can-
amendment.
Yeah, I don't think we can approve it though, because I thought it wasn't approved by the union yet.
I did reach out to the unions, plural, the Teamsters, which is the principals, assistant principals, and the SREA, and paras, and have received no response from them of complaint about that.
Have you received any response?
No.
So I think we need to send an email to close it and say, if we have not received a response, this is going to be voted on at the next meeting.
Fair enough.
Yep.
And then we vote on it and we put it in.
Agreed.
Yeah, that closes the door.
Yep.
Okay.
So do we need to vote to table it or do we just table it?
I think it's table.
Okay.
Table to next meeting,
Okay.
then we'll vote on it the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
Then we probably skip 3.3 then,
Yeah,
because that is dependent upon the previous ones.
Okay.
I don't think we need to discuss that one.
yeah, GBCDE is referred to in the current GBCD. So we need to leave it until, and it's just a list of
Until we,
naughty things I would reject. I'd reject people anyway, but they showed up on that list, but it should stay there for now.
Okay. 10-4, next is school board goals for 25-26. I don't know if I'm comfortable moving forward discussing school board goals without the other two members. I think they should be here unless anybody disagrees.
I think that's fair.
I agree.
I agree.
Okay.
And I thought there were some do outs for some compiling, some things you had that went to Bob. He was going to send.
I thought Bob sent,
So did I
yeah.
miss?
So Bob sent out my version of the school board goals with like, specific tasks, right? Like timelines.
Yep.
I thought I had a copy of it. Maybe I do.
It's in the packet.
It's in the packet.
It's in the
that he sent.
packet, Bob?
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's dated 9/18/25, and it really just has, the objective, specific actions, how we're going to get updates and how we're measuring the success of each one. I think the idea is we don't have to go with my goals. But if we're going to have goals, we should have them. I think we discussed having them in this format.
Yeah, smart
So
format.
we get regular updates in the public forum. There's transparency. We're measuring it. And it's not just a wish list.
Mhm.
So everybody should have that. And then we can just keep it on the agenda for next week.
Yep.
And then if you have stuff to add, you just get it to Bob.
You go.
Then we can adopt something next week. Hopefully everybody will be here, or next meeting, sorry.
It's
busy
definitely
night. possible
possible that I missed that, but I don't see what you're.
I was just gonna
Yeah.
say that. I don't,
It was an email that Bob
was it
sent.
a couple of weeks ago?
No.
It was in the big packet of information this week. It should have been like the last 2 pages.
Yeah, I just went through
See
that.
that in the packet. I just looked.
Yep.
It's under, he sent it out
October 1st.
October 14th.
Nope.
Oh, I apologize.
In the SB
October.
packet.
Yeah, SB packet.
October 1st or 14th?
Been
October
last,
10th is when he sent it out.
yeah, last
Add
Friday.
the packet of information for next Wednesday.
There's a board packet for the 10th. Okay. And then which attachment?
SB packet.
Got it.
I think it's the third attachment.
Yeah.
I think it's the last 2 pages of that packet.
Okay, I got it there.
Oh,
So we're gonna,
gotcha.
we'll look to discuss that format with the compiled goals that Bob put together from what those of us that emailed you put together. Is that kind of the thought process?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, Bob sent out a list of everything that he got, right?
Mhm.
And I think the discussion we had, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but the discussion we had last week was, if we're going to have goals, they should be, like smart
Smart
goals, right?
goals.
Yeah.
So that's the format I used.
Yep.
I would just suggest anybody who submitted a goal, maybe you revise it over the next couple weeks, get it to Bob, put it in this format, and then we can, take a look at the complete list that way.
Got it.
and
Okay.
adopt.
Got it.
Okay.
Thank you. I will do that.
All right, we are at second public comment. And or questions.
That's your chance. I mean, 4 questions.
Yeah.
all cheated questions.
Retroactively.
Count to 15.
Yeah. Go to 30 this time. Yeah.
All right, the next meeting of the Sanborn Regional School Board will be a joint meeting with the Budget Committee on Wednesday, November 5th, 2025 at 6 p.m. in the library at the Sanborn Regional High School. The next meeting of the Budget Committee will take place on Thursday, October 23rd, 2025 at 7 p.m. in the library at the Sanborn Regional High School. And who wants to take us into non-public session?
There's not here.
I feel like you're
Gonna do.
you were representing
That's right.
Okay.
Heather's.
Crap. Hold on, I'm gonna find the policy.
RSA 91.
Can I do it?
I'll do it.
You can do
I'll do
it,
it.
but I have it now.
Okay, go ahead.
PKJ.
I make a motion to go into non-public session, RSA 91-A, semicolon 3, Roman numeral 2, A, B, C, I. Was that an L?
E-I-N-L.
Old McDonald?
I
EIL.
feel like this is an eye
Yeah.
test, though. Is that an I?
It's an L.
E-E-I-N.
They're talking about Old McDonald, apparently.
All right, roll call in.
Second that.
Oh,
What?
sorry.
Oh.
Second.
Yep.
Okay, roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes,
Yes.
we're in non-public.
All right.